I'm Greg Bolton, creative director from Jam 3. The most important thing I've learned in my career is really to work hard and be nice. It sounds simple, but if you're really good at your job, that's what got you there. If you're really smart and you're really creative, that's great. It's definitely a requirement. But working hard and being nice are the pieces that don't come naturally, but being nice gets you a long way. I know it sounds squishy, but it's true. If I could tell my 18-year-old self anything, it would probably be not to worry about what's going to happen, to really know that you're going to find your way by doing what you do best. And you're going to learn along the way that you don't always get it right and the sky doesn't fall. When I was coming out of university, I really felt like, okay, I've got to become a professor, and I went to grad school and things changed and I didn't end up pursuing a path of being a professor. And if you told an 18-year-old that, they'd say, but then why am I going to waste all that time? But it wasn't wasted time because I learned a lot and it made me who I am today. I think what I'm most passionate about is all of it. I know that sounds cheesy, but the reason is that we do different things every day, and we're lucky enough to have a creative playground to do that in. And so it's really more about the team than any particular project, and I love who I work with and the things that we do. I mean, I think one of the keys to a successful organization is knowing what each person's superpower is and really playing to that strength. If you know that somebody doesn't like a certain type of work, it's kind of insane to put them in that role. So what we try to do is make sure that everyone's doing what they're good at and what they love, and usually those are the same things. I think events like this are really important because I think it's great for people to take a break from their everyday and listen to some new voices. I also think it's from my perspective, I love doing it because, as I say, every time I go and talk to students, I end up learning more from them than they teach me. I just think it's really important for events like this for students to be able to hear from people in the industry, hopefully get them to worry less about the future and understand that there's a process and that, we didn't all have it right from the beginning and we still don't have it right now. But it's really important to hear some things that you might not take for granted, that you might take for granted as an older person, but as a student you might not know yet. There are a lot of people I'd like to have dinner with, but someone that popped into my head recently was the journalist David Carr, who worked for the New York Times and died quite suddenly. He was just a really cool guy, had a very checkered background, but he always landed on his feet and he always made me both smile and think that's a pretty good dinner. One book I'd really recommend, because I just finished it, is Sapiens, which is a book about the history of humanity. So, wee little book. It's about 400 pages long, but what I love about it is the way that he makes us rethink some of the things in history, like the way that he talks about progress. While progress can be a double-edged sword, I think it's a really approachable book that teaches you a lot about not only the history of humanity, but also how to think about it. And if you can think about the history of humanity in an interesting new way, you can probably think about just about anything in an interesting new way. So that's one for me for sure.